In the 1970s, the National Australia Bank committed to developing one of Australia's most comprehensive and representative corporate art collections. George Maurer, the respected gallerist, was hired as their art consultant to source paintings, sculptures, and even tapestries from some of Australia's most renowned artists, as well as those who were only just emerging. By 1982, the collection had developed a public profile and was exhibited at the National Gallery of Victoria in Melbourne. And we are honoured to be featuring 29 of the works from that very exhibition. One of my favourite examples is Lot 86 by William Delafield Cook. This particular painting is a premium example of Delafield Cook's pursuits of photographic realism, especially in the 1970s. This particular painting with the hedge he's depicted is quite disorienting for the viewer. We're not quite sure where we are. Is it a public park, Delafield Cook's backyard perhaps, or maybe even something from his imagination? And when we look closely at the hedge, each leaf is so perfectly rendered. There's not a blemish or a weed or any sort of bug to be found. It's so almost idealized. And Delafield then frames the hedge in this outer layer, this sort of neutral coloured surrounding, which further displaces the work from us. It's this displacement between the viewer and the hedge, which I think he does so beautifully through so many of his works. One of George Maurer's goals as the National Australia Bank's art advisor was to build them a collection of tapestries. So they started with 2 John Coburn tapestries from France and further supplemented that when the Victorian Tapestry Workshop was established here in 1976. From that partnership, a further 9 tapestries were then commissioned through the Tapestry Workshop and entered into the bank's art collection. Tapestries as a medium had been considered somewhat out of fashion up until the 70s and the 1980s, when they experienced a little bit of a revival, and I think they're still experiencing that now as people appreciate the complexities of textile art. Leslie Dumbro, for example, produced her piece Snakes and Ladders as a large-scale abstract painting first, employing all of the usual processes that she would to produce one of her abstract paintings. The sharp, crisp lines and the subtle changes in colour had to be translated into a woven form. And it was quite a challenge for the weavers, but I think they managed to still uphold that sense of dynamic abstraction that you see both between the painting and the tapestry. While most of the artworks in the National Australia Bank's art collection were collected in the 1970s from living artists, there was a portion of their collection that was acquired prior from artists from the past. One of the most significant examples was Harold Septimus Power's The Bullock team from circa 1914. Now, this particular painting was produced right before he ventured off to be a World War I war artist. It was grand in scale at nearly 2 metres in width and was hung on the line at the Royal Academy in London in 1915 and then again in Scotland in 1916. Interestingly, when it was exhibited overseas, it was referred to as the Australian Bullock team. And it existed in those exhibitions as a symbol of Australian life, of life on the land over here, and something to differentiate between everyday life between these 2 continents.